Well, welcome back, everyone. This is Vye Brante bringing another Vye Brante Reads. I'm doing a little story called The Strange Connection, which might sound familiar to Just Gotta readers. We'll get to that in a minute. First, I just want to go ahead and introduce my special guests, or let them introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm the Being.
And I'm River.
So I thought, I don't know, this isn't a complete story, and so just to get another perspective on it, we'll have people with me while I'm reading it, I guess. And yeah, so this story is one of my old Pokemon stories again, just like the last one. And it's about 10.5 pages long, but it's not finished, like I was saying earlier. I have no idea even where the story was going. I poked through it a little bit to see what's in there, and it should be pretty amazing. But this happened sometime after the last one, that Trouble at Silph Co. This is a lot later. Like, Hillary's beaten the Pokemon League and has caught Mewtwo, and that's probably going to be the most painful parts for me, is all the Mewtwo stuff, honestly.
So, how long ago did you write this?
This would have been junior high school, so 13 years ago,
Wow.
probably.
Okay, then.
This is going to be interesting.
You might regret keeping it.
Yeah.
Doesn't she already feel that since she already read Poked Through It a little bit?
Yes, I'm like,
So we're in for an interesting ride.
Yeah. But, this story thing has the same title as a chapter in Just Gotta, and I'm blanking on the number. I was going to look, but so this basically has the same event as what happened already in Just Gotta, where Spyro and Hillary become linked. It just kind of happened later in the original stories than it did. So, spoilers!
Spoilers, yes.
Fortunately, River and I are quite read up on Just Gotta, so...
Yeah, well, this is completely different than what it was, just, yeah.
Right.
Alright, well, we ready then?
Mm-hmm.
I think really this is going to be just more painful for me than it is for you guys.
Yeah, we're willing victims.
Yeah, you didn't talk me out of it, so...
In fact, we talked you into it.
A little bit, yeah. And my dog's going crazy. I don't know what she's doing. Okay, well, guess we'll just start. So, like I said, this is called The Strange Connection. And here we go. Spyro sat by Hillary's side. She was fishing in a lake. The lake emptied into some fierce rapids above a waterfall. The sun had gone down over the horizon. There were many stars in the sky. There was dark storm clouds in the distance. Mewtwo and Pikachu were setting up camp. Just barely? If there's like storm clouds and it's dark already, why are you just barely setting up camp? Anyways.
Wow.
Hillary's 5 Pokeballs and the Master Ball for the Pokemon with her sat on a log. Okay, that's convenient. Mewtwo set up some wood for a fire. He walked over to Spyro. "Can you go light the fire?" he asked. "Charizard," Spyro said with a nod. He walked over to light the fire. Mewtwo turned to Hillary. "What are you fishing for anyway?" he asked. "A Poliwag," she said. "You have nearly 90 Pokemon and a Poliwag isn't one of them?" Mewtwo asked. Because this is back when, like I mentioned in the last one, that she had to catch 150 Pokemon, so she's basically just working on that, filling the Pokedex.
150?
Uh-huh.
Not 151?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, okay then. She's not that much of an overachiever. She's realistic, so
Yeah.
we'll give her that.
Basically, she said, which is kind of just replying to being, but why not? Why not, he asked. "I never found one," she replied. Simple enough. Spyro turned to Hillary's side. There was a tug on the fishing line. "I've got something," Hillary said, reeling it in. Hillary seemed to be having a tug-of-war over the fishing line. "It sure is putting up a good fight," she grunted. With a good tug, the hooked Pokemon flew out of the water and onto the ground. It was a Goldeen. Hillary sighed. I already have a Goldeen, she said. The Goldeen let go of the line. It looked really mad. It went at Spyro. Spyro ducked, sending the Goldeen into a tree. That was quite a jump. It hopped around and looked... Let's see. It hopped around and really looked angry. Okay.
Really?
Really.
Really?
Really. I think this Goldie needs an attitude adjustment, Hillary said. Go, Pikachu. Pika, Pikachu cried. It's just the Pokemon voices I hate doing.
I understand.
And there's a lot of Pokemon speech in this. It jumped out to face the Goldeen. The Goldeen didn't seem interested in Pikachu. Instead, it went at Hillary. Hillary had been standing next to the edge of the lake. When she dodged the attack, she lost her balance and fell into the water.
Oh my.
Charizard, Spyro shouted. Hillary surfaced at the mouth of the rapids and grabbed onto a nearby rock. She held on for dear life as the current pushed against her. At least the story gets going a little bit faster than the last one.
Yeah, her life's already in peril.
The Goldeen began using its water gun. Do they still learn water gun?
Maybe. I haven't had a Goldeen in ever.
I don't know either.
It began spraying everything. Just randomly, and Pikachu's just not doing anything, even though it's supposed to be fighting. It put out the fire and then turned its attention to the Pokeballs. A strong blast of water gun sent the Pokeballs flying through the air. That's the wrong through. They all separated in different directions. That was one heck of a water gun, I'll say.
Yeah.
Hey, Mewtwo
Isn't that
cried.
how everything works in this story?
Pretty much. Hey, Mewtwo cried. He was about to attack the Goldeen when it hopped back into the water. Hillary continued to hold on to the rock. Spyro was about to go get her when the Goldeen splashed out of the water and aimed its horn at Hillary, trying to dodge the attack. Hillary slipped off the rock and floated down the rapids. She tried to swim to shore, but the current was too strong. It began to pull her under.
She's not good at dodging, is she?
Not really.
She might be a bit better in the actual Jescata.
She just is getting herself into more trouble.
That's true.
Spyro desperately tried to find his small trainer. We had to specify. She finally surfaced while gasping for air. Spyro flew over to her. Hillary lifted her hand into the air. Spyro was about to grab it when she was pulled under again. She hit her head on a large rock. Everything went black.
That's gotta hurt.
Pikachu ran down the stream. Pikachu, it called. Pikachu. Mewtwo is close behind it. I like how Mewtwo is completely useless in all this.
Yes, I'm like, why would Mewtwo allow all this to happen?
That makes no sense.
It doesn't.
Is he just like watching everything like Giovanni's Mewtwo and just Mewtwo?
Pretty much. Spyro stopped in midair and looked at them. Charizard, Charizard, he yelled. Charizard. Mewtwo and Pikachu stopped. Spyro told them to get the Pokeballs while he got Hillary. Okay, Mewtwo said, hurry. He just was like, alright. That'll be the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Because splitting up is always the best thing to do in anime.
Yep.
Mewtwo and Pikachu turned around and went after the Pokeballs. Spyro continued to fly downstream. Hillary still hadn't surfaced. Gone almost 10 minutes. Okay, almost. Spyro looked ahead. The waterfall was getting closer. Okay, we mentioned the waterfall earlier, so shouldn't it have been like right there?
Go logic.
Hillary finally came up. She was unconscious. It's a good thing she floats pretty well, though. She was heading straight for the waterfall. She was far ahead of Spyro. He flew faster. Hillary was at the waterfall just as Spyro reached her. She began falling down it. Spyro flew down after her. He grabbed a hold of her, but he was going too fast to pull back up. He kept on heading downward. He was able to go straight again, once he reached the bottom.
Okay.
But he lost control. He was able to glide away from the water, and... okay. He was able to glide away from the water, and into a large patch of thorns.
Oh, wow.
What?
Into a large patch of thorns. Spyro braced for impact. He crashed into the thorns. They scraped him all over. He was finally able to stop outside the patch. I don't know, it's just clunky. Lost my spot. As he crashed out of the patch, Hillary flew out of his arms.
Oh, Lord. She's not good at staying in a Pokemon's grip unconscious, is she?
No. He laid on the ground a moment, trying to catch his breath. His whole body ached. He could hear the nearby river. It was flowing steadily. He also heard nearby thunder. Apparently from that storm we mentioned earlier.
Well, some continuity.
Yeah. Spyro shakily stood up. He was all right except a few cuts and bruises. The worst was his wings. Isn't that convenient?
No.
They ached badly. They had taken most of the impact from the thorn patch. They would be fine, but he could tell he wouldn't be able to fly for a while. Again, convenient.
Yep.
That's what they get for separating, because...
Yeah. Well, I have to give 13 years ago you some credit for choosing to send Mewtwo to get the Pokeballs, as I would imagine a psychic power would be easier to get those little things than getting Hillary, while everyone else without that kind of ability get the Pokeballs.
Yeah,
but at the same time, shouldn't he be able to do both?
True enough.
He's able to do everything. And so shouldn't you three.
Mm-hmm. If I could stop looking away from the page. Hillary groaned. She coughed. She was on her back. She rolled over and coughed up some water. She opened her eyes. She began to get up. Charizard, Spyro asked, helping her up. I'm okay, she said. What happened? Charizard, he explained. A waterfall, she asked. Again, she can understand Spyro, but at this point she can't understand anyone else. Well, I guess
Yeah, I
too,
kind of forgot about that. I always forget that Hillary can understand her Pokemon.
Yeah. A waterfall, she asked. She looked around. Where's Pikachu and Mewtwo? Charizard, he said. What happened to the Pokeball, she asked. Charizard, he said. Oh, she said, that's right. I remember that. That Goldeen made them fly away, because it was magical like that. She was about to ask another question when she saw his wings. Spyro, she exclaimed, your wings. Char, he said sadly. He looked a little concerned and scared. Why? What happened to you? She asked, putting a hand up to a cut. Charizard, he said. Why didn't I just translate it, really?
That's what I was wondering.
Hillary cringed. Ouch, she said. That must have hurt.
All cringe?
Yeah. And I know I, thought to translate it because I was actually looking through other stories where I did translate it, so I don't know why I didn't hear.
Maybe you back then just knew you'd read it and just wanted to make it hard on you to spite you.
Me and my darn future powers. There was a crash of thunder in the air. It was very close. I'm assuming it just from the sound, it was very close. Hillary and Spyro looked up at the sky. The storm clouds were nearer than they were before. Go figure. We'd better find shelter, Hillary said, and Pikachu and Mewtwo. And scene transition. Pikachu exclaimed. It ran up to another Pokeball and picked it up. Mewtwo and Stacy walked up to it. Why is Pikachu just in it? I swear it was a him in the other one. Stacy, by the way, is a Vaporeon, I believe.
Good to know.
Mewtwo took the ball and pushed the button. An Arcanine came out. It was Buddy. Buddy's an Arcanine. Buddy asked what happened. Okay, why didn't we have, like, Buddy talk? I don't understand. We'll explain later, Mewtwo said, because there's no time right now. He doesn't say that, but... there was a crash of thunder. It was very close. But right now we have more Pokeballs to find, he added. They kept going. Each time they found a Pokeball, Mewtwo would open it to make sure it was one of Hillary's Pokemon, because apparently there's just random Pokeballs. Oh, I guess in the games there were random Pokeballs laying around. Now they had... now they had Stacy, Buddy, and Ponyta, who apparently didn't have a name back then either. They just had to find Mewtwo's Master Ball and Spyro and Pikachu's Pokeballs. They hadn't gone very far when it began raining. And another scene transition. Spyro and Hillary ran through the rain while covering their heads. They splashed through small forming puddles. They found a cave. They ran into the cave as a bolt of lightning crashed down. "We better stay in here until the rain stops," Hillary said. "Then we can go find the others." "Char," Spyro agreed. He clenched his teeth and rubbed one of his wings. Hillary looked around the cave. "Looks safe enough," she said. "I don't see any Pokemon." Spyro sniffed the air. "Charizard, Char," he said. He didn't smell anything. There was another crash of lightning and thunder. Spyro closed his eyes tightly for a moment. Hillary turned around and looked outside. It was raining hard, and there wasn't any sign that it would stop any time soon. What? I don't know what this is.
What is it?
I don't know. We'll see. Hillary noticed a plant close to the entrance. It was a green leafy plant with purple stripes. She had seen it before. She walked up to it and touched one of the leaves. She remembered seeing Nathaniel doing something with this plant. Who the heck is Nathaniel? And apparently we have a flashback. I wonder if it says who he is. "What are you doing, Nathaniel?" she had asked. He was crushing the leaves into a juicy pulp with a rock in a bowl. The juices from this plant help heal Pokemon, he told her as she watched. They help so the wound won't get infected and it will heal faster. It will heal faster. He pulled the rock back out of the bowl. It will help Spyro's cut heal better. He walked over to Spyro. While he was a Charmeleon, a sand slash had cut his arm badly. Nathaniel put the juice on the cut. I don't know who he is.
Actually, I think I just vaguely remembered. You might have gotten it from the anime back then, because something like that happened. Yeah, something like that happened. And, like, I don't know, maybe it was an anime character that appeared or something.
Maybe.
Can't quite remember, like, what Pokemon got injured or something, but...
Well, that might be it. I have no idea. Okay, sure. Oh, that was the flashback anyway. "Now I remember," Hillary said. She picked a few leaves from the plant. "This is just what we need," she added. She walked over to 2 stones and laid the leaves on the larger stone and picked up the other one and sat down. She began crushing the leaves just as Nathaniel had. "Charizard, Char," Spyro asked. "Don't you remember, Spyro?" Hillary asked. "I don't remember, so I don't blame you. Nathaniel put this on you, arm, when the sand slash cut you."
On you, arm.
On you, arm. That's what it says, so that's what I read. Spyro nodded, remembering. "Char," he said. She kept crushing the leaves. Soon it wasn't liquid. She stopped smashing the leaves. Okay. Hillary reached into her pocket and pulled out a handkerchief. She used it to soak up the juice. Oh, soak the juice up. Let me see your wings, she said, standing up, as she took a step toward him. Spyro took a step back. Char, 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 he said. Okay. Oh, I know it stings, she said. You said that the last time he put this stuff on you, but it needs to be done. Spyro sighed and went over to her. He sat down so she could reach better. She worked on the inside of his wings first. Spyro clenched his teeth and would jump each time she went to a new cut. She finished with one wing and went to the other. End scene. Mewtwo and the other Pokemon walked through the rain. They had found Pikachu's Pokeball, and they still hadn't found Mewtwo and Spyro's Pokeballs. They have to be around here somewhere, Mewtwo said. Vaporeon, Stacy agreed. Yep, she has a Vaporeon. Buddy sniffed the air. There was a rustling in a bush next to them. They're just walking out in the rain. They don't care.
They're Pokemon.
Yep.
It moved to the next bush. Whatever it was moving away from them. Buddy growled. Mewtwo wasn't paying attention to the bushes, so he didn't notice. Pika, Pikachu, Pika, Pikachu asked. I'm sure she's alright, Mewtwo said. Buddy began barking. It stopped and kept barking at the bushes. What is it now, Buddy? Mewtwo asked. Buddy didn't answer. He just growled at the bushes. Mewtwo sensed something was there. He wasn't completely sure what. Leave it alone, Mewtwo said. Buddy looked at Mewtwo, then at the bushes. It growled, then it followed the other Pokemon. I'm sure that was a very important scene. Another scene transition. Let's see. 9 minutes again. Okay, we're okay. Hillary was still rubbing Spyro's wings. She had finished with the insides of both wings and was now working on the backs. Seriously, you guys can just jump in and stop me anytime.
No, I want to see what happens.
That engaging, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. Charizard, Sparrow asked as a bolt of lightning struck and the thunder roared. Almost done, Hillary said, but we have to do the rest of you too. Spyro moaned. That was a lot of juice from just a few leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, well, apparently that's going to be cleared up here in a second. Hillary stopped. Char, Spyro asked. No, I'm not done, she said. I just need to get some more.
Okay.
Well.
Well, at least I thought of those kind of things back then, too. So she walked over to the plant and picked some more leaves. She began crusting them on the stones. Charizard, Char, Spyro asked. I'm sure the others are fine, she said. She sighed and looked outside. I wish this rain would stop, she said. Then we could go find them. She lifted up the stone she was using to crush the leaves. She wiped up the juice. She stood up and went back over to Spyro. She began rubbing his wings again. Then she rubbed the other scrapes and cuts. Okay, Spyro, she said when she was finally finished. I'm done. Spyro sighed, relieved. Hillary yawned and shivered. Spyro pulled her close and wrapped a wing around her. She leaned against him. A bolt of lightning crashed down. The thunder boomed loudly. Spyro closed his eyes again. Hillary noticed this time. Spyro, she asked with a slight giggle in her voice, are you afraid of lightning? Spyro glanced away for a second. Charizard, Char, he asked innocently. Why would I think that? She repeated. Maybe because you're acting like it. Spyro looked back at her. Charizard, Char, yes. I'm so
really
emotional.
so bad to be afraid of lightning?
He's afraid of a lot of things in this.
Don't worry, she said with a reassuring smile. I won't tell Mewtwo. Okay. 'Cause...
I don't know if YouTube knows. YouTube knows.
Apparently it does. I won't tell Mewtwo, 'cause a bolt of lightning crashed down. Loud thunder followed close behind. Spyro and Hillary closed their eyes and hugged each other tightly for a moment. 'Cause I'm scared too, Hillary admitted. Oh.
Mhm.
Spyro smiled and rubbed her cheek with his snout. Hillary rubbed her eye. "Let's get some sleep," she said. She looked at her watch. It was almost midnight. "It's getting late," she said. Spyro nodded. "Char," he said. Spyro laid down, and Hillary laid down next to him. Spyro kept his wing around her. Soon they fell asleep.
You want to bet they wouldn't even have been finished setting up camp if, it all had gone smoothly.
Yeah.
Well, then, I don't know if she had a tent or anything. They were just, out by a lake, and there was a storm coming. What would they have even done for shelter then?
Yeah.
Finally, Mewtwo said. He picked up the Master Ball. It was the last one they had to find. "Pika, Pikachu, Pikachu, Chew?" Pikachu asked. "Yes," Mewtwo said. "Now we can go find them." Mewtwo concentrated, trying to find out where they were. They were sleeping. He couldn't tell where they were when they were sleeping. Okay. The only thing he could tell was that they were pretty far away. Mewtwo sighed. "They're sleeping," he said. "We won't be able to find them till they wake up. Can't go look." Pony... Okay, I don't understand. Ponyta said they should get out of the rain. Pika, Pika, Pikachu agreed. Just equal treatment is all I'm saying. Okay, now we're going to another scene transition. There's a lot of these. Mm-hmm. A drop of water fell from the roof of the cave. It landed on Hillary's cheek, because that's always where it lands. Mm-hmm. As she moaned and turned her head, she opened her eyes. She looked outside. It was morning, late morning. The sun was high and it was warm. She could hear a few birds singing. Hillary rubbed her eyes and sat up. She was still tired. Hillary's movement woke up Spyro. He sat up. He felt a lot better. His scrapes didn't hurt anymore. His wings ached a little when he moved them. He still wouldn't be able to fly, of course. Hillary's stomach rumbled along with Spyro's. They hadn't eaten in hours. They were going to eat after Hillary was done fishing, so they never got a chance to have dinner. But it was dark already!
Seriously.
Let's go find them.
Well, you tried.
Yeah. "Let's go find them," Hillary said. Spyro nodded. "Char," he said. They walked out of the cave and walked down a path back toward the waterfall. Why are we going back to this? Hillary thought a moment. "Why didn't you want me to tell Mewtwo you were afraid of lightning?" she asked Spyro. Charizard, Charizard, Char," he said. He didn't want to give Mewtwo the idea that there was something he was afraid of. Okay.
Well, that answers my earlier question.
Yeah, it does.
Sort of.
I guess that makes sense, Hillary said.
I guess it makes sense.
I guess. I'm not really sure.
I guess he doesn't want to be outdone by Mewtwo. You know, being a legendary and all, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
She sighed. "At least he doesn't treat you like the most... Let's see. At least he doesn't treat you like you are the most fragile person on Earth." "Charizard Char?" he asked. "I don't know," she said. "Ever since that Golbat bit me, he has treated me like I was made of glass."
Well, she's made of water.
True.
"Char?" he asked. "I'm not sure why," Hillary said. She remembered everything that had happened with all of the Golbat. "We destroyed all those Golbat robots," she said.
Well.
"And I can take care of myself." There was something about, and I don't remember the details, but there was some bad guy that was making Golbat robots that would, hunt people down and drain their energy or something. I don't remember why, but I think that's what this is talking about. I mean, I don't know what else it would be, so. Uh, Charizard, Spyro said slyly. What do you mean, obviously? Hillary asked. Charizard, Charizard, Spyro said. Charizard, Charizard. This was so much fun to write, I bet.
It must be just as fun to read.
Oh, yeah. Just as much.
Do you ever expect that you're going to have to read this in the future?
No. And
Oh,
after...
nobody's ever going to read this.
Yeah.
I did as bad as I want.
Exactly. I can do whatever kind of crazy things I want. Continuity, what's that? Hillary frowned and looked at her shoes. Okay, she said, maybe sometimes I get into something I can't handle on my own, but that doesn't mean I need 24-hour protection. Charizard, Spyro asked. Well, maybe I did exaggerate a little, Hillary said. But remember when we went back to Rock Tunnel, the first sign of a little trouble, and Mewtwo insisted I get out of there. And who ended up getting hurt? It sure wasn't me. Apparently something happened in Rock Tunnel. Spyro felt he had to defend Mewtwo. He was his friend. Charizard, he said. He was saying Mewtwo recovered. Ugh, why didn't you just do that then?
It must have been really fun to write that.
Just be I just don't understand the logic.
What logic? It's Pokemon.
And fan fiction, that's just a place where logic goes to die, so...
Oh, yeah.
No. Usually in my fan fiction I like to put logic into things, but that's just
people that write good fan fiction.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I don't write as much anymore.
What? What about when Ash turned into an Arcanine? Hillary asked.
What?
Oh dear.
He wouldn't let me do anything. Okay. Some of these things I was like, I'll never forget these stories, but apparently I do, because
Oh, yeah.
I thought I had completely cut Ash from all my stories anyway, so, well, there you go.
At least it's not another Nathaniel.
Yeah.
Pulling out names.
At least we know who it is this time. Unless
Yeah.
it's another Ash from an alternate dimension.
And here I do it again. Charizard, he said. He said, that's 'cause you couldn't do anything. Why didn't we just cut out the extra line and just have him just say that? Hillary remembered that. She couldn't do anything. Ash hurt her so badly she could barely sleep. What? Okay. Just okay.
Okay, then.
I don't know what Ash did, but apparently it was pretty bad. Charizard, Spyro asked. They stopped. Spyro put his finger on her nose. Charizard, he added. He was reminding her when a Pidgeotto used Gust Attack and blew Hillary into a pair of mating Gyarados. Then they created a whirlpool which threw her miles away. Man, she just has bad luck with water.
Yeah, she's just got bad luck with almost everything.
Pretty much. Hey, Hillary protested. That wasn't my fault. Charizard, Spyro said. Hillary sighed and they kept on going. I know it was nobody's fault, she said. Charizard, Spyro said. Charizard.
He's just rambling now.
He is. Just nonsense. Then I translate it in another line. Ugh.
Wow.
Hillary listened with interest. He had said, Mewtwo wanted to find you more than anyone. Apparently even more than Spyro. He wouldn't believe that you might have been dead. Hillary smiled. Maybe he isn't so bad, she said. Sometimes he might seem overprotective, but I guess usually he's... Let's see. Might seem overprotective, but usually he's great. Aw. Now we're gonna go check on Mewtwo again. It's still useless. Mewtwo looked up at the sky. He was waiting impatiently for the others to wake up. He thought about waking them up, but he didn't want to seem rude. Okay. He knew where Hillary and Spyro were. He thought about going to get them, but he decided if they woke up while he was gone, they would probably go looking for him, and then they'd have to look for them. Hillary and Spyro were headed their way anyway. They were pretty far away, but they would be there soon. Mewtwo decided to wait. Once the others woke up, they would find Hillary and Spyro before they knew it. He didn't wait for long. They soon woke up. Come on, Mewtwo said. We have to find Hillary and Spyro. They nodded. Mewtwo led them into the right direction. Okay, good. At least it wasn't the wrong direction. Okay.
Yeah. That happens a lot.
Not into a thorn bush.
Yeah. I know these don't have page numbers, but we're going through them pretty fast, actually. I think we're more than halfway. Yeah, about halfway. This is just so intriguing so far.
Yeah.
Hillary and Spyro walked up to the waterfall. Well, Hillary said, at least we know we're going in the right direction. Char, Spyro nodded. Hillary tried to find a way to get up it. I'm assuming the cliff. She said. Looks like the best way is to go around and try to find a path. Charizard, Spyro said. They turned. They walked for a while. There didn't seem to be a path anywhere. Because can't climb it.
Yeah, rock climb wasn't invented yet.
It's true. Let's see. Spyro stopped. Char, he said. What is it, Spyro? Hillary asked. She stopped. Spyro lifted his head up and sniffed the air. There was a rustling in a nearby bush. Spyro began growling. Okay, so maybe that scene earlier did have a purpose. A Raichu emerged from the bush. Raichu, 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 Rai asked. Spyro took a step toward the Raichu. Char, Charizard, Charizard, Char, Charizard, Char, Spyro said. Char, Char, Charizard, Char. That was a question. The Raichu growled. Hillary wondered why. Spyro was asking if they knew a way up the cliffs. Raichu, Raichu, it shouted. A little lightning bolt shot from its cheeks. I'm assuming just more like sparks, but I don't know. Char, Spyro asked. Raichu, it shouted. Spyro looked a little angry. Char, Charizard, Charizard, Char, Char, he said. Raichu, it shouted again. We're having a nice, deep conversation here, I'm sure.
Yeah, having fun repeating Pokemon names.
Yeah.
What's fun in the world?
Yeah. Not confusing in the slightest. Let's see. It shouted again. Bigger lightning bolts shot out. Spyro took a step back towards Hillary. And we're changing scenes briefly again, it looks like. Mewtwo said. He looked in the direction Hillary and Spyro were. Pikachu? Pikachu asked. They're in trouble, Mewtwo said. Come on. They ran toward Hillary and Spyro. Because Mewtwo can't fly. If he knows they're in trouble, he still has to stick with the group.
Mm-hmm. Because he's so considerate.
He can't, like, just levitate and take him with him. Just leave him there. Spyro, Hillary asked, what's going on? Spyro didn't answer. He growled at the Raichu. The Raichu growled back. Spyro put his hand on Hillary's shoulder to keep her behind him. Raichu, the Raichu screamed. Charizard, Spyro yelled back. Chew, it shouted. It darted back into the bushes. Okay.
Wow.
Wish I knew what was going on here.
Yeah, me too.
Just two random Pokemon yelling at each other. It's like, what?
Char? Spyro asked. The Raichu didn't return. Spyro seemed more relaxed. Char, he sighed. What was that all about? Hillary asked. Spyro looked at Hillary. Char, Charizard, Char, Char, Charizard, Char, he said. It's territory, Hillary asked. Spyro nodded. Char, he said. He turned and continued walking. Char. Charizard, he said. Hillary nodded. Okay, she said. She went after him. He told her they better get going. Let's not explain anything ever.
No.
Oh, this should be fun. They hadn't gone very far before the Raichu left out of the bushes. It landed between them. Raichu, Chu, Raichu, it shouted. The Raichu squeezed its cheeks. Lightning bolts shot out from its body. They hit Hillary and Spyro. They both cried out in pain. Mewtwo looked over the trees as he ran. He could see bolts of electricity coming out of the forest. That's where Hillary and Spyro are, Mewtwo exclaimed. Buddy ran ahead of them, barking loudly. He's faster than Mewtwo. They came to the cliff. It wasn't as high as it was where the waterfall was. They jumped down it with ease. They continued to run toward them. They got to where they were.
Good.
A Raichu was between them. It was shocking them. Some of the electricity was going from Spyro to Hillary, and some was going from Hillary to Spyro. Buddy ducked its head and rammed into the Raichu, sending it into a tree. Hillary and Spyro fell to the ground. The Raichu stood up shakily. It looked angrily up at Buddy, who was growling loudly at it. Pikachu ran over to Hillary. Pikachu, it asked. The Raichu, go ready to attack.
Okay, then.
Buddy opened his mouth and fire shot out. We can't just say something like, he is flamethrower or something like that. We have to...
Mm-mm.
It hit the Raichu, sending it... Let's see. It hit the Raichu, sending crashing back into the tree.
Then crashing back into the tree.
It was charred and burned. It slowly stood up and ran off. Mewtwo walked over and knelt by Hillary. He lifted her up. Pikachu asked. She's okay, he said. That's good. She's just knocked out.
Okay, you know. It's okay. She's just knocked out. This happens all the time.
It really does.
That Raichu's attack was just too much for her. Buddy went over to Spyro and nudged him with his snout. I think he'll be okay too, he said. He just fainted. He stood up with Hillary in his arms. He walked over to a tree and laid her down like she was sitting against it. No, okay. That's how you lay down, is when you're sitting.
Yeah.
I'll go get her backpack, he said. You stay here with Spyro and Hillary in case that Raichu comes back. Arcanine. Oh, so now he can talk, Buddy said. Vaporeon, Stacy said. Pikachu said with a nod. Then we're gonna skip scenes again.
Yay. Skipping scenes is so fun.
It is, isn't it? Mewtwo laid Hillary's backpack next to her. It was a little wet, but it seemed okay. That's good. Hillary groaned and stirred. Spyro moaned at the same time. Mewtwo knelt down next to her. He put his hand on her shoulder. Hillary, he asked, come on, wake up. Hillary slowly opened her eyes. Spyro opened his eyes at the exact same time.
Yay.
Hillary looked around. What happened, she asked. There was a Raichu, Mewtwo told her. You and Spyro got shocked. I remember now, she said. It was yelling at us for coming into its territory. Territory, Mewtwo asked.
It's gone full circle.
Hillary watched Spyro slowly stand up. He seemed a little off balance. Hillary started to stand up too. Mewtwo helped her up all the way. Are you going to be okay? Mewtwo asked. We'll be okay, she said. Charizard, Spyro said at the exact moment. Mewtwo paused. Maybe you should rest for a while before we keep going, he said. No, she said, I'm fine, really I am. Let's just get out of here.
They just saw that much coming.
I think we should stay here a while, Mewtwo said. And wait for that Raichu to come back, she asked, because she doesn't have a full team and they didn't already beat the Raichu. I'm alright. Now let's go. She went over and picked up her backpack. She threw it over her shoulder. Spyro went to her side, and as they walked through the woods, Mewtwo hesitated. Something's wrong, he thought. I can feel it. He went after them. And we're coming up pretty close to the end, so at some point this is just going to cut off, but...
It was fun.
They walked into town. Hillary had recalled the Pokemon before. Okay. They headed to the Pokemon Center. They went inside. I don't know what town they're in, but oh well. Oh, Hillary, she said. Apparently Nurse Joy knows them. The Nurse Joy said that, if I didn't say that's who it was.
No.
You've come back. Think I skipped a line. Hillary smiled. Yep, she said. I see you've got a new Pokemon there, she said, looking at Mewtwo. What's its name? I'm Mewtwo, Mewtwo said. Nurse Joy seemed surprised. You can talk, she said. Why is it humans are always surprised when I talk? Mewtwo asked, looking at Hillary. Spyro and Hillary shrugged at the same time. I don't know, she said. Charizard, Spyro said in unison. Mewtwo stared again. Why do they keep doing that, he wondered. Take a seat, Nurse Joy said. I'll be with you in a minute. Okay. They went over and sat down. Went over and sat down where?
They just went over, you know.
Over somewhere.
It's in a Pokemon Center. That's specific enough. I mean...
Yeah.
Don't we know what Pokemon centers look like?
Yeah, I guess so. They sat in silence. Hillary had her eyes closed and her elbows on the table. Apparently they're sitting at a table.
Oh, okay, so...
And her hands holding her chin. Mewtwo just watched her. I know he was mean, Hillary said. What? Mewtwo asked. Hillary opened her eyes and looked at him. Huh? She asked. What are you talking about? Mewtwo asked. The Raichu that shocked us, she said. Mewtwo blinked at her. Okay, he said, in a voice showing he didn't quite understand.
I don't think we understand either.
Nurse Joy walked over to them. So what have you been up to, Hillary? She asked. They're just going to have small talk. Hillary shrugged. Nothing really, she said. We ran into an interesting Raichu today. A Raichu? Joy asked. Yeah, Hillary said. It kept telling us to get out of its territory. Oh, Joy said. You must have gone through Territory Forest.
Territory Forest?
Well...
I come up with the best names ever.
My names aren't that good either, to be honest.
Why is it called that? Yeah.
Why is it called that is the real question, yeah.
All the Pokemon there act strangely, she explained. They're all obsessed about keeping their own territory. They don't like anyone or anything they don't know in them. All of the Pokemon, she asked. Yes, Joy said. That would explain why that Goldeen was so hostile, too, Hillary said.
I was going to mention that, but, you know.
Okay.
I hope they didn't cause you any trouble, Joy said. Hillary smiled. No, she said, not really. They were just a little mean. Well, Joy said, can I get you anything? Sparrow and Hillary looked at each other. We are a little hungry, she said. I'll bring you something, Joy said. She's a waiter or something. She walked away.
And they work for free, too, so, you know.
Yep, and that's basically the end. I mean, the trainer comes up and asks her for a match, and then it never goes into the match, so we'll just stop there, I guess.
Okay.
Wow. That was an interesting story.
Yeah, it at least had a conclusion. The only discrepancy really is the whole Nathaniel thing. We will never know.
Who's Nathaniel?
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
And then there was the whole Ash was an Arcanine thing.
Oh, that is true, yeah.
There was something about an Arcanine in one.
Ash from all of my stories.
I thought I did. There was something in a title about an Arcanine in one of the stories. I'll have to look at it and see if that explains.
Oh, man.
I can't. It's interesting how, like, we write these things and then, like, they're, like, really important to us at the time, and then we just forget about it in the future.
Yeah.
It is.
Especially Nathaniel and how important he was to the story.
It must have been if Hillary remembered him, so...
Hillary and Vye can't remember the same thing, so gotta remember that.
So I think, I don't know if there was any kind of like actual plot to the story after this, but they figure out that Hillary and Spyro became linked by that Raichu's electric attack somehow.
Oh, isn't that what Deoxys does though?
Yeah, so that's why I was saying it's much different than it is in Jescata.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Deoxys makes a lot more sense too.
Yeah.
It's kind of why it changed.
Raichu. Okay.
Get out of my territory. Like, oh, you care about your trainer? Sure. Why don't I just link your minds or something?
I don't know that it did it necessarily on purpose, but...
Well, it did talk a lot, so maybe it got lost in the translation.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, crazy puppy. But
and it just gotta really changed a lot.
Yeah.
What was the original name you gave Jescata? Was it Jescata?
No. Like, well, you mean what the story? Like the overall title of them all?
Yeah.
I just referred to them as my Pokemon stories.
Oh, so it wasn't Jescata until you made the comic?
Yep. Yeah, figured I needed a title, so.
Yeah, sometimes, like, stories are like that, like, oh gosh, what do I title this?
Just title it something random. I'm very unspecific with my story titles.
Well, I didn't think I realized when I named it Jescata how punny it would turn into, but...
We do use Jescata as a pun a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But I do it a lot too, so...
Oh, good. We're not the only ones, then.
Yep.
We just gotta start.
Yeah.
And we just can't stop.
Anyways, so that was what I had, at least, of the strange connection and how they became linked, even though I never really jumped into that much other than Hillary and Spyro. I don't think that in this version that they even, like, acknowledged it themselves. They just were, like, figuring out. Like, Mewtwo was watching them, you know, like... And I think, like,
Mewtwo
in the fight...
useless.
Yes!
It was.
Why do you think I changed him, too?
Mewtwo doesn't even travel with Hillary.
Nope.
He travels with Giovanni instead.
Yep. That changed, too. Hillary has Mew3. She's good. She's got the Mewtwo thing covered. Of course,
Not
he
that she
can't.
knows about it. Or, well, she does. I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah. He can't do a whole lot, but he can do something.
She was not very happy when they tried to take Mew3 away from her.
That's right.
Well,
you don't take Mew3 or Mewtwo away from Vye or Hillary.
No, you don't. But you gotta admit, though.
You just gotta admit.
You just gotta admit, Mew3 has done a lot more not having its own body and just gotta than this Mewtwo did.
Yes.
Vye has learned and improved quite a bit.
Yep.
Yes.
I congratulate you, Vye.
Yes, congratulations on, like, becoming a lot better of a writer. But yeah, at least Mew3 can tell where Hillary is when she's asleep.
By the way, when did you say you wrote this at?
It was like 12, 13 years ago, maybe 11, I don't know, 10 to 13 years, I'd say.
What,
I was in junior high school, I don't know exactly. I know I started writing in junior high, I just don't know when this particular one was done.
I was just wondering because, like, I remember when I came up with a lot of things a couple of years ago when I was in high school, because I'm a lot younger than you are. And I always try to think of my stories and try to make them make sense and stuff. I've got one that I'm really stubborn about and don't want to change a lot of things in, but probably going to have to.
Yeah, that tends to happen with a lot of stories. I'm like that too.
I'm like, I know this is bad, but I can, if I write it in a certain way, I can pretend that it's good and people will like it.
Kind of like what I have to do with the first like 10 chapters or so of Just Gotta, because I'm like, I would have done this differently now, but they're already up, so I just have to stick with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, with my comic, I just was like, it's okay if everything changes. This is practice or something.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah,
able to,
Pokemon Beta is just a beta, and then, even though
yeah.
it's never going to happen, Pokemon Gamma would come up next.
Yeah, I plan on, like, making pictures about stories that'll never happen that I had ideas for,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I wish I could do that, but, I'm not really an artist.
I'm not either, but that doesn't stop me, so.
Hey, you're still
Well,
pretty
you're better
good.
than me right now.
I still think you do a good job.
Passable.
Yeah, passable.
Thank you for making Just Gotta Vye.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. It's been a big inspiration to me throughout the years.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. The Pokemon, well, there's a comic that got me going that's no longer even updating, so.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyways. I guess that would be it as far as, like, the recording the video goes. So, yeah, that was The Strange Connection, and more. So, thank you, everyone, for joining me and being in River while I went through this. Hope it was fun.
Oh, yes, it was quite enjoyable. Thank you for bringing us on board.
Yeah, no problem. We might do it again, I don't know. Alright, well, this has been Vye Brante, so bye.
Toodles.
Bye.